Hello, Bellevue School District 8th graders. Congratulations, in a few months you will be high school students. No doubt you have a lot of questions about what your high school experience will look like in the fall. While there are still many things yet to be determined, there is a lot of information that we can share with you. My name is Maria Frybos-G, and I am the Director of Student Services. In the upcoming slides, high school counselors, the District Athletics and Activities Director, and a College and Career Advisor will cover online registration tools and resources, an overview of the registration process, high school graduation requirements, sample 9th grade schedule, online registration information, the registration timeline, and athletics and activities in high school. The question and answer feature is open in this event, and we will answer questions from the Q&A as time allows. But make sure to attend the Q&A hosted by your high school and their registration webpage for school-specific information. There are several resources available for you to assist you with the registration for your high school courses. There is a 9th grade student course selection form. This form used to be on paper and it was collected by all the high schools. It's no longer collected, but it's a great resource for you to use for your own planning and to keep for your records. School websites offer elective course offering information that's unique to their school. For your planning guides, the course catalog has descriptions of specific courses. There are online course selection instructions for Synergy Student View, and there's information about BSD athletics eligibility and activities information. Each high school has created a page on their school website with registration information for the 2021-2022 school year. The link to the registration page is on the main page of the school website. If you don't see it there, you can also access the information by going to resources and choosing counseling.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I am one of the high school counselors at Bellevue High, and on the screen, you will see a slide of all of the counselors at Bellevue High, starting with myself. So I work with students last names A through EG. Next, Ms. Smith, she works with students EH through KEL. Ms. Robinson, she works with students last names KM through NE, Ms. Clipper, ST through Z, and Ms. Manesh-Berger, NG through SR. And then we also have a picture of Ms. Hansen, who is our college and career advisor. Next slide, please. So the registration process. So first step is joining us here at the town hall, so you can get all kinds of resources and information to register for courses for next year. After the town hall, you will decide on what courses you will select for next year by talking with family, talking with teachers or your counselors. The online registration link will be available and will be due March 12th, so Friday, March 12th. And then you want to just make sure you keep a copy of the registration form for your records. Next slide, please. And then on this slide, we have a visual here of the Bellevue School District graduation requirements. And then on the third column, you will see a 4-year college admissions or entrance requirements. So we've added that there just for your reference. So as you can see, for the Bellevue School District, we require students to take 4 years of English. For social studies, we require students to take 3.5 years of social studies. For math, we require students to take 3 years of math, but for college admissions purposes, we highly, highly recommend students to take 4 years of math. Science, Bellevue School District requires 3 years, and then again for college admissions, most colleges or many colleges, universities require 4 years. Highly recommended. For the Bellevue School District for fine arts, we require 2 years. For CTE, 1 year. World language, 2 years, or a personal pathway, which I will talk about here in the next slide. For PE, 1.5 years. Health, half a year, semester, and overall number of credits you should have by the end of your senior year is 24 or more, of course. Next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. So what is a personal pathway? So students who plan on attending a 4-year college should take at least 2 years of the same world language in the high school. Students who plan on joining the military or attending 2-year community or technical colleges after high school can take other classes. The classes they choose must align with their post-secondary plans. So really basic, if you have any further questions about a personal pathway, you can always reach out to your counselor. Next slide. So additional graduation requirements. So for the Valley School District, you must have an overall 2.0 GPA to graduate. You must also complete 40 hours of volunteer service. You must complete the high school and beyond plan. You must also complete the Washington State history, which in most cases you've already completed that in middle school, and testing requirements, so the English Language Arts, or ELA, and the math. You can also meet these through your graduation pathway. And for the graduation pathway, so the Washington State has established several graduation pathways that allow students to meet the math and English Language Arts testing requirements. The Smarter Balance exam is just one of these pathways. Students can also use ACT or SAT scores. They could also use AP and IB exam scores. They could also use AP, IB, and college and the high school courses. Approved sequence of career and technical education or CTE courses, and ASVAB exam scores. The Armed Services, so the ASVAB stands for the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery exam. This is the same exam given to qualify to serve in the armed forces. So you could use any of these in case your student does not pass the Smarter Balance exam. So why challenge yourself in high school? So you want to make sure you're increasing rigor with balance throughout high school. It is critical for starting strong as a college freshman. Math is a gatekeeper for many majors and needs to be taken all 4 years in high school. Again, the Bellevue School District requires 3 years, but we highly recommend students take 4 years of math for college admission purposes. Biology, chemistry, and physics are minimum science requirements for many majors. And taking 2 or more years of the same language is what most colleges and universities kind of look for. And for fine arts, for example, most California universities want to see 1 year of the same fine arts class. Planning and balance to achieve your goals. So colleges want to see rigor and balance. And so what does balance mean? So we want to make sure students know how to budget their time. So for example, you want to make sure you have enough time for homework, for your friends, for work outside of school, self-care, for hobbies. And we also have a tool you can utilize. It's called Planning Your Schedule, which will help you plan your schedule and your time for next year. We also recommend you pursue a passion area. For example, taking electives that you're really passionate about, or get involved in clubs. And you want to start strong your freshman year. Freshman grades do matter, and they do make a huge impact on your overall GPA as well. Next slide. Thank you.
Thanks, Janelle. Hi, everyone. My name is Jamie Honer. I am part of the Sammamish High School counseling team. So welcome for joining us. I think there's a short break, so I'll just make sure I'm saying this again. My name is Jamie Honer. I am part of the Sammamish High School counseling team. And the screen you can see up there is we have everyone on our counseling team along with our career and college advisor. We are all separated by last names, so if you want to take a quick screenshot or a snap with your cell phone, this is a great time to do it so you know who to reach out to. And all of our administrators are there as well. And in the next couple of weeks, next week or so, while 9th grade registration is happening, we would love to hear from you if you have questions. So let's talk a little bit about middle school grades. For the class of 2025, what is really great is that their middle school grades will be automatically added, so they actually don't have to do the work to do that. So if they took, what that means is if they took Algebra 1 or higher, biology, or a world language, those classes are the ones that will be automatically added to their transcripts. Now, if they received a grade that is lower than something that they're now receiving at high school, then they might want to remove that grade, but just keep the credit. So before the end of 11th grade, we recommend if they're going to do that, they would use a form, they connect with their counselor, use a form to remove or request a non-numerical grade. So that's something they can do anytime up through 11th grade. And then once it is removed from the transcript, they cannot be added back. So we really want to make sure they connect with us counselors, talk it over with you as a family, and then we can help make the decision as to whether to keep them on or take them off. So the Bellevue School District course catalog has a ton of information in it. It's really useful for seeing course descriptions. So if you're like, I'm trying to find different electives that might be fun to take and planning out your next 4 years, this is a really good way to get in there and really look at all the different classes that we have to offer. It'll also give you information about any prerequisites that you might need before you take the class or your student takes the class. And then it also will tell you what that course counts for. So is it like an art credit? Is it a CTE credit? Is it PE class? So it has a lot of information. So we really recommend that students kind of look through it to get an idea of what is offered at various schools. So this is a list of a sample 9th grade schedule. So as you can see, there are a lot of classes that are already kind of slotted for 9th graders. The first would be 9th grade English. And then we often recommend if a student hasn't started a world language yet and they are planning on taking a world language in high school, that 9th grade would be a great time to start that. So you can see the different world languages that are offered, and I'll talk more about that in a second. 9th grade PE is a year-long class that students will take in 9th grade typically. Biology as well as a year-long, and then math, depending on what math they're in now, they would choose typically from Algebra 1, Geometry, or Algebra 2. AP Human Geography is typically what 9th graders will take, and that also is a year-long class. And then lastly, they have 1.0 elective, so they have the option to pick from classes that they might be interested in taking to fulfill that credits. So these are the different world language options that are offered. So you can see that Chinese is offered at Interlake, Newport, and Sammamish. Bellevue High School has those as well as Japanese. Spanish is Interlake High School, Newport, Sammamish, and Bellevue. And French is Interlake, Newport, Sammamish, and Bellevue. So if you have any questions about those, feel free to check our websites or connect with your current counselor or us as well. So one thing to consider if you are already potentially in a world language is what level is right to take for you. So if you feel like this year is going really well, then we would encourage you to move on to the next level. If you feel like this year has been hard or you feel like you're not really understanding it as well as you want to, we would recommend potentially that you retake the level. This is a great conversation to be having with your family and your current teacher, and they can help guide you as to what's best. As far as the college pathways are concerned, 2 years is definitely recommended. So almost all colleges will require 2 years as a minimum, but most schools will actually encourage students to take 3 or 4 years as a language requirement. So something to be aware of as you go throughout your years. And then one thing that's really great in Bellevue School District is that we have the World Language Competency Credits test, so you can take that test if you know a language other than English. If you speak a language fluently other than English, you can utilize the skill, take this exam, which is offered throughout the year, and earn up to 4 credits to count towards your high school transcript for language. So definitely check in with your counselor if this is something that you are interested in. And then we have a lot of different other programs that students might be interested in. So each of our schools have some specialty programs. So Interlake, they have the International Baccalaureate program. So on their website, they've posted a wealth of information about that. So if you're interested, be sure to check that out. At Sammamish, we have the ISA program, so the International Spanish Academy, as well as dual language. So please check out our website for more information on that. And Newport as well has the International Spanish Academy, and they also have information listed on that.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Jose Valdez, and I'm one of the college and career advisors. I am at Interlake High School. So I'm just going to quickly talk about our career and technical education courses. So these courses are dual credit courses that are offered at the Bellevue School District. So in high school, students are able to take these courses and get both college credit and high school credit for these when they complete these courses. Once they reach their junior and senior year, there will be more options for them to take them, but there are a couple CTE credit classes that they can take during their freshman year. All right, next slide. All right, and then as I mentioned before, I'm one of the college and career advisors. Below, you'll see a list of the other college and career advisors at the other different high schools. So our jobs are to make sure that students have enough information when it comes to college applications, their financial aid, scholarships. We can also help with volunteering opportunities and anything that they might need help with after school planning. So if you have any questions, just feel free to email one of us at the respective high schools. All right.
Hello, everybody. Your second person here from Interlake. So you just heard from our amazing college and career advisor, who is also on this slide, as well as the 6 counselors at Interlake. So in alphabetical order at Interlake, Miss Williams has students with last names A through CI. Miss McDermott has students with last names CL through HEM. Miss Jensbold works with students last names HER through LIP. I, Miss Vergeen, work with students last names LAR through PAR. Miss Kearns works with students with last names PAS through SU. And Mr. Markham works with students last names SW through Z. So in addition to our 6 school counselors and our amazing college and career advisor, we also have great support in our counseling center, both in our registrar and our counseling secretary, who are available to help and answer questions. So let me tell you a little bit about Avid. Avid is a program that I love working with, and Avid stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, and it is a year-long elective class for students who are motivated to raise grades, to build strategies for high school and college success. They are working on skills like test and studying for testing, test-taking strategies, organization, note-taking. It has guest speakers that come in, they go on field trips, they're working on reading, writing, inquiry skills, advocacy skills. It really is a community-based course. So the class becomes kind of a home network for students where they feel like they have a place to feel themselves and are working together towards their goals of going to college. It's not limited to, but it definitely is a great resource for first-generation college-bound students. So if you want more information, you can check out how to sign up for Avid. It is a program that does include an application process. So participation is directly set to work on improving grades and skills, working with their teacher and in small groups within the class setting. So if you want additional information, feel free to reach out at your individual school, but we each do our information as far as when we do interviews and applications, school-based. Next slide. Okay, so this is one of the challenges of registration every year. I've worked at Interlake for a really long time, and one of the things that I wish that I could do is change every schedule per every ask from students. But what we do at each of our high schools is we run student-driven schedules. And what that means is when you pick a class, we only offer a class in our master schedule and at each of our high schools if enough students sign up for that class. And so it makes it that we really hold registration as a commitment to those courses. So the classes that are offered next year are only offered if enough students register for them. And we ask you to think carefully about your choices next year. It's your vote for what's available at each of our high schools. Once your schedule is built, we do change schedules only under extenuating circumstances, particularly related to the electives. So current 8th grade students will register online at home this year. Ms. Frybos, G already talked about how there used to be a paper application form that students filled out. That's still an option to use as a tool. But this year students are registering through the course selection tool in Synergy. It's in their student view. And when they're the same place where you can go and check your grades, there is a place that says right there to do course selection. And so that is where you log in just as this current year as a student, and you're gonna go in and pick your course selection right there in student view. Next slide. So this again is reminding us how we're completing registration. And this year you're completing all of your course requests through Synergy, which Synergy is the same thing as Student View. Student View is your side of seeing our student information system. Synergy is the school district side of where we see the information that you are entering. There are instructional videos and PDFs of instructions of how to complete your registration online on the website. It's also on each of our individual school websites telling you how to actually submit your course requests in Student View. And all of your registration materials are due by March 12th. So we want you to go in and complete course selection in Student View and any other forms. Like for instance, some of our high schools are also using Microsoft Forms as well as the Student View in order to capture your requests. So each of our schools will let you know specifically what is required for our schools. But this is how you're going to create your votes for what you're taking next year, your choices, your selections, what you want run at each of our schools. And last reminder, please go online to Student View, complete your registration before you meet with your counselors, include at least 2 to 3 alternate options for each elective course. We use the mantra that choose carefully because we say if you want it, which means you picked it, and you got it, you keep it. So we want you to keep your course selection challenging and balanced, making sure that you're picking classes that you know that you have the time to manage the workload in those classes. And you feel free to ask questions of your middle school counselor if you have questions about this. But in addition, know that each of the high school counselors are going to do Q&A sessions at the middle schools. So we're doing it in the 8th period in team sessions. So if you have questions about our individual schools, in addition to the parent nights that we're offering, you also are more than welcome to come and join us in that 8th period because we want to be able to answer your questions. So drop in and ask us before you hit that submit and enter. If there's something that comes up later and you realize, oh shoot, I need to change something, Fear not, even after you hit submit, we're able to go in and modify. So if you need to make an adjustment to your selections, you can let us know before spring break as we finalize all course registration for all students, even after that March 12th, if you've submitted and need to make an adjustment. The reason why we want you to pick several alternate options is if we can't get you into your first choice class and you only give us one additional option for that course and we can't get you into it, it is us, your school counselors, who have to pick what class you would want to go into. And rather than us choose for you, the more options you give us, even if it's above and beyond the 2 to 3 that we ask for per class, then you're giving us more options to choose from when helping you pick your classes.
Apologize, I was on mute. It's the first time I've done that in a while. Hello, everybody. My name is Jeff Lowell. I'm the District Athletics and Activities Director. This is my 7th year in this particular role. And I'm here to chat with you a little bit about the other side of student life when you get to high school, and that would be extracurricular activities, things that students can get involved in after the school day is over with. We are lucky in Bellevue, and we're lucky in Bellevue for a lot of reasons, but one of those is that our schools are members of the KingCo Conference. In the KingCo Conference, we have 24 member schools. There are 9 school districts that make the conference up. And so all of our high school students get an opportunity to play a full set of contests against schools from districts as far south now as Highline and Tukwila, and as far north as North Shore, depending on the school that you'll attend as a high schooler. So like I said, you're very lucky. We're all very lucky about that. But tying this back to what you've been hearing all afternoon right now, and that is what you do over the next few months is actually really important for your ability to play sports in the fall. 8th graders have to make sure that they remember that, that what they do in the classroom counts, and it's going to end up being good practice for you as you become a high school athlete as well. There are academic standards for high school athletes that you have to meet. You know, Bellevue School District requirement is that high school athletes maintain a 2.0 GPA, if they don't, then there's some work that needs to be done to make sure that that GPA stays at a 2.0 or above. And then our state governing body actually maintains the standard that you see on the screen right there that says that you have to pass 6 credit-bearing classes. If you don't in the previous semester, then there is a period of ineligibility for competition. And so 8th graders, as you're getting ready for next fall, pass 6 classes or more, pass 6 or 7 classes, and you won't have anything to worry about. But if you don't, you want to play in the fall, you'll be ineligible for competition for the first 5 weeks of the season. So that would be through the end of September. Don't like being the bearer of bad news, but there is one piece of good news, and that is your future is in your hands. So get to work. You know, keep doubling down, keep consistent in the classroom, and get your assignments turned in, and there won't be anything to worry about come September. The other thing that's good for you all is that a couple years ago we moved to a new online registration platform at the high school level. It's called Final Forms, and you all are the beneficiaries of actually having that platform used at the middle school as well. And for the last couple of years, any middle school activity that you've registered for, you've done through Final Forms. So whether you signed up for a Jubilee Sport or you signed up for an ASB club, you've done so on the same platform that you're going to be using at the high school level. And the other benefit to that is that your information that is currently in that system will go with you to your high school. So once we find out where everybody's going, we can end up making some adjustments, and you'll be assigned to your new school, and that information will be there ready for you to register this spring. Later on this spring, we typically open up registration for next year's sports right about the beginning of June. maybe a little bit earlier. This year, I'm guessing because our high school sports seasons are going a little later, that we will wait until the beginning of June to do that. The link down there, the athletic on the Bellevue School District page, you can always find the athletics and activities department page, and there's all sorts of information there, including these links and how you would register come springtime. Let's go to the next slide. And a couple other pieces of important information for you is that on that website there is detailed information about athletic programs at each high school. You can actually find the email contact for every one of the head coaches, for example. You can find out detailed information about other types of eligibility. You can find detailed information about our concussion protocols and sudden cardiac arrest. There's all sorts of things that you can read about, just so you know what it means to really be a high school athlete. The key, though, if you're really interested in participating through the summer, you're going to sign up early, like I said. If you know you're going to be gone in the summertime and you want to sign up to play a fall sport, you have to have everything done by mid-August. And one thing that is very different for all of you that are coming into high school is that you have to have a current physical. So that means you have to go to your doctor and get a sports physical taken care of, and make sure that that gets taken care of, because if you wait and it comes down to time for practice, what may end up happening is you can't get the physical taken care of in time. So plan on that early. You can get it done this spring even, and get it loaded in, and that physical is good for a couple of years. So that's something for parents to remember. I did miss one point. Up at the very top of that slide, you see the detailed information is going to be posted by June 1st. What you can expect to see at your high school, your prospective high school's department page, is a video recording from that school's athletic director. In lieu of trying to get meetings together and a variety of other things, what the athletic directors did last year is they spent some time actually putting a video recording together to give you everything you need to know about their athletic department. And that ended up working out well. It got put up right about that June 1st time, and then anybody could access it whenever they needed it. So expect the same kind of thing this year. You also see there the season dates. Fall, winter, spring sports are listed, and when those season dates are scheduled to begin. And I have not heard anything that says that they are not expected to begin on those dates. And should they change, that information will get changed on our website. For any of you who are on the call that are interested in cheer tryouts or drill tryouts, those will actually get announced at your middle school this spring, because those tryouts happen during the springtime. So keep an eye out in your middle school announcements, and that information will end up being available for you there. We'll go to the next slide. And the other part of my role in this in the district is actually looking at ASB activities, so clubs and other activities that get run through the associated student body at the school. And what I can tell you is that every one of our high schools have more clubs and activities than you can even imagine. I think the most we have at any school right now is just over 100. And what we're all going to continue to counsel you about is not overcommitting. Make sure you try things out, but don't just join 50 clubs because you think people are going to like what they see if you share that information. Find 2 or 3 things that you're really interested in and commit to those. Really explore those few things that can end up rounding out your high school experience. If you have any questions about any of those activities or any sports, I am not a hard guy to find. You can always email me, or you can click onto just the front page of the district's website, and you can choose the Let's Talk icon over on the left side of the page, and you can end up sending me a message, and I can answer those questions for you. We're excited to see you move up. We're excited that you're here today, and let us know if we can do anything to help you.
Hi, everyone. This is a slide of the Newport High School counseling team, and we're really excited to be working with you this year. Let me just introduce everyone. Carolyn Edwards is going to be working with students who have the last name A through CR. Heather Erickson is working with families with the last names CU to HU. And Nicole Anderson is working with HUA to LIM. I'm going to be working with students who have the last names that start with LIN to PA. Karen Schultz is working with PE to TAN. And Emily Bassoni is working with students who have the last name TAR through Z. We've also got a couple other people on our slide. Vanessa Lopez Kopp is our wonderful college and career counselor, and I'm sure you're going to be in touch with her at some point. And we also included Cameron Whitney. He's our counseling intern from Seattle University this year. So just some reminders. I saw several questions in the chat about, can we start choosing classes right now? And the answer to that is yes, you can. Registration is open, and we need students to submit their online selections by Friday, March 12th. Go ahead and keep one of those student course selection forms for your record. If you need a copy of one of those, just go to your high school's registration page and you can print one out for yourself. Attend student and parent Q&A sessions. We're going to go over those dates and times in just a minute, but I heard that Sammamish's is in session right now. So for Sammamish people, you're welcome to go over there. And then don't forget about the course catalog. That's the best place to find out about prerequisites and course descriptions, and that's on the BSD website. So here's some dates. Counselors are going to be virtually visiting all of the middle schools for student Q&A. Chinook Middle School is going to be happening March 4th and 5th in the English classes, and then March 5th during 8th period synchronous time. Highland Middle School, it's going to be Tuesday, March 9th during 8th period. Odell Middle School is happening Friday, March 5th during 8th period. Tillicum Middle School is Tuesday, March 9th during 8th period. And Tyee is March 4th and 5th in the English classes, and then March 5th during 8th period sync time. So the high schools are all going to be there, so that's a great opportunity for students to ask questions of the counselors that they're going to be working with. And then finally, the high school Q&A sessions for families are all happening right now. As I mentioned, Sammamish is happening right now, 5 to 6 p.m. Bellevue is happening Thursday, March 4th at 4 p.m. and they're doing one for both Chinook and Odell families. Interlake is also Thursday, March 4th, and it looks like they are doing Tuesday, March 9th at 7 p.m. for advanced learners. So the traditional students are at 5:30, advanced learners are at 7. And then Newport is doing it on March 4th at 5:30. And then, as I mentioned, Sammamish is right now.
So thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. This session has been recorded, and as soon as the recording is available, we will post it and make sure it is linked to all of the individual high school registration pages. Thank you and have a great evening.